games of the decade, I would say. Like across all journalistic review sites and whatever the bullshit.
I can vouch for it. It is one of the best platformers I've played in a really long time. But Towerfall came out far before. This came out in 2014. It is I don't want to call it a Smash Brothers style fighting game, but it is a platforming style fighting game with essence of Smash Brothers. But I think you have swords, you have bow and arrow, you have different things you can pick up. The levels kind of are vertical in that it seems like you can like fall down, you can like go downwards and upwards and kind of climb your way up.
Did you say you tower fall?
I think that's where the name comes from.
Falcon Punch, motherfucker!
Originally, this is a 4-player local game. I believe now it is 6 players, and it should support online. There's also a co-op mode. It looks like there's some boss battles where you can team up to fight bosses on the same levels that you would fight on. So there's a lot of content there. Highly regarded game. Very positive reviews all around. Never heard anybody say a bad thing about it. Like I said, this game came out in 2014. So if you really want to play it right now, you can go on Steam. But it is coming to Switch, and there are reasons to get it on Switch if you've already played it anyway, because they're adding that content. So you can play also as the characters from Celeste. So that's an added bonus. I'm probably going to pick this up. If at the very least, I would pick the game up because...
Tame my vagina!
At the very least, I would pick this game up just because I want to show some more support to Matt Makes Games. That is the company that they go by. The makers of Celeste there. So that wraps up Ninja Showcase here on Games of the Week.
I think you did a good job on that. Thank you, Fred, for showing us and telling us about some great indie games coming out on Switch soon.
You are welcome.
By the way, you know what I'm doing right now? I have it on the background.
Oh, don't talk about this on the show.
What? No, nothing like that, you asshole. I'm talking about salty bets.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, salty bets. We're going to do a lot of salty bets when you get here.
Good. They're doing a tournament right now, so it's free $100 or $1,000 if you want it. Just FYI, might as well. Yeah, we're definitely doing some salty bets. Dude, we should see if that guy will stream salty bets at the fucking iFix.
He probably will.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. We have one more game on Games of the Week to talk about, which is kind of quick, but something to mention. It's a game from my childhood. Sounded like I was a hick again. A game from my childhood. I'm talking a little weird at times because I bit my tongue earlier, so it's kind of swollen. So my shit's running together a little bit. I apologize.
Always biting that tongue.
I don't know what the fuck that means. It sounds like you continuously make sexual references that aren't real sexual references towards me today, Fred.
It's interesting that you say that.
And if you do it again, I'm going to have to slap your ass and call you Sally Fields again.
All right.
Anyway, Streets of fucking Rage. We talked about this on episode 18 when we went over our growing up with gaming. Streets of Rage 1 and 2 I loved. I never played 3. Streets of Rage 1 came out in 91. Sequels came out in 92, and then the third one in 94. So it's been 24 years since Streets of Rage.
That's crazy.
And they're bringing it back. It's all hand-drawn this time. You didn't like that? You didn't like the look of it, I guess?
I don't know what it is about the art style. It makes it feel
I think it's cool.
It reminds me of like a Flash game, the way that it looks. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to take some time for me to get used to the art style, but it doesn't look bad by any means. I mean, when you pause it, like when I see screenshots of it, it looks really good. When I see it in motion, it just makes me feel like... it just makes me think Flash game. And when I look at the old Streets of Rage, I just see the badass, like, brawler.
All right. Well, we'll see. I hope they bring back from the OG Streets of Rage where you can call for backup and they just fucking, like, shoot the it, like, pans over and they fucking launch a bunch of missiles and stuff. That was so much fun. Axel and Blaze, who are the two, like, staples of the franchise, are coming back. Her and him look fucking badass. That's what they used to.
They do look really cool.
Axel has a beard now.
Mm-hmm.
So, fitting in with the times. It still has that kind of 90s aesthetic, though, when you're looking at the like streets and everything. It definitely has that. Yeah. It's like gritty Streets of Rage.
Yeah. Do you remember how to play this game at all? Like, and what I mean by that is, do you remember like the grappling mechanic at all?
Well, grappling was huge. Oh, you could like grapple together, couldn't you?
You walk into the enemy, and you tie up with them, like you grab them around the neck, and then you can attack or throw them the other direction.
Right. But I mean, couldn't you do it together? Couldn't you do like tag moves together?
Yeah, you can do like team stuff. Well, what I was going to say was before the show we were talking about Fire Pro Wrestling for a minute. That's the grappling mechanic in Fire Pro, except it's way more in depth. So just because you've played Streets of Rage, I thought it'd be good to. You haven't played Fire Pro, so anyway. If you are a fan of brawlers, any of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles style, walk along, kick ass games.
Yeah. Well, this is by. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, that was Streets of Rage 4 though, which we're talking about. By Guard Crush Games, who developed Streets of Fury back in 2015. It's like a beat 'em up game.
So it got like a spiritual successor.
I guess before this.
I mean, Streets of Fury, Streets of Rage. I mean, come
on. You're probably right, but I don't know, it's exciting. I'm excited for it. Why the fuck not? Pretty much, I think it's by the same publisher as Windjammers 2.
That's another one. Windjammers. Yeah, that's. They're bringing back the original one, and they're making a sequel now. They announced for 2019. So
yeah, I believe that it's the same developer, same publisher.
I'm really glad that they're bringing that back because what was that game that came out last? Disc Jam, DISC, Disc. It's hard to say that word, Disc Jam.
It's hard to say the word disc.
Well, it's disc.
Fred, it is not.
Disc Jam together. Disc Jam.
Disc Jam. Disc Jam.
Well,
Disc Jam.
Well, you're just
Disc Jam. Like, how many fucking times do you want me to say it?
You're just being an asshole.
Some might be calling me. I had
so anyway,
I
hated Disc Jam. I don't give a shit. I don't care how much of an indie. I can't support that game. They literally. They might have put a lot of effort in the game, but it just doesn't seem like they did. So I'm glad to see.
You were very strongly convicted when it comes to video games, Fred. I've noticed that about you.
Well, sometimes I just have to be. And Windjammers is like, you know what? We're gonna show you how it's done. So here we go. We done with games of the week.
We're done with games of the fucking week. Let's move on to goddamn Xbox All Access.
All right.
Okay.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, I think, before we really knew any details on it. Have you looked it up since?
Yeah, I've looked it up. So to me, Xbox, Microsoft just unveiled this yesterday. Think of it as how, if you're familiar with over the last couple of years, phones, when it comes to Samsung or whatever, fucking Android phones or Apple phones, they now have it on a essentially 2-year lease that you pay off the phone with. And you pay a certain amount per month. So you don't have to buy the whole thing right up front. That's essentially what this is. You can get an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X. You have one low price, but you have to do it for 24 months, it looks like. So you have to sign up. You have to do a credit check, just similar to how I had to do it with my iPhone from last year. And essentially, you sign up for a 2-year contract with paying whatever you want, or not, sorry, whatever they want you to. I'll get to the price in a minute. I'll fucking say whatever you want. So for 2 more years, I want to pay 10 cents a month.
Woo.
Fucking idiot I am, Ryan. That was me talking to myself. I understand that you were Fred. God damn it.
It's fine.
I've lost the audience now. Okay, so they also are going to give you over 100 great games with Game Pass. Game Pass comes with all this, and online multiplayer comes with this as well. So, it's not a terrible thing. Apparently, it actually saves you a lot of money if you get the S version. Getting the X version doesn't save you a whole lot, but it looks like the Xbox One X bundle costs $35 per month for 24 months, and the Xbox One S costs you $22 per month. I mean, $21.99, $34.99. I'm not fucking...
Yeah. Well, either way, if you were going to buy one of these consoles anyway and you were saving up, or you were going to pay, all at once, and now you have an option if you don't want to pay it all at once, and like you said, at the end of the day, you actually save money. So it's not one of those situations where you're paying like a monthly installment and you end up paying like extra because they're giving you a break and letting you pay an installment. So sometimes they charge you an extra whatever at the end of the 2 years. In this case, you are saving, and they're giving you access to is it for the Game Pass?
And what's it? They give you access to Xbox Gold as well.
That's awesome. I think that's a great deal. If you don't have a PC, because a lot of the Xbox games that are worth playing, you can also play on PC, then pick it up.
My whole thing is this is a good... Xbox is to me, at the moment, I know a couple of months back, we had talked about how Sega was so innovative on their different ideas they were doing.
Yes.
Xbox is kind of doing that with Game Pass, with All Access now. It's like they're doing a lot of subscription services, which I think the future of gaming can be moving into. I mean, media in general. I mean, with Netflix and Hulu's of the world. And I think it's kind of something interesting and something to definitely keep an eye on. I hope it becomes very affordable because that's the main thing. And it seems like Xbox is all about just giving you access to their library at an affordable price. It's just that it's more of a... Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's nothing really bad about this because, I mean, you can always just not participate in this.
Right.
But it's not a bad fucking thing.
Well, this could also turn into other things. I mean, Microsoft has an opportunity here to, lease people a console, give them... It's almost like you said, it's like having a phone. Like, when you get this phone... The big difference is that you're paying a monthly fee for the service on the phone. Well, they're including the service on the Xbox, but for phones, you're getting access to the Play Store. You get plenty of free games through that. And when they come out with new phones, they always give you the option, like, do you want to finish paying the phone that you have and you can own it, or do you want to just trade it in and that lease just starts over on the next phone? And so Xbox has an opportunity to then say, oh, well, here's, our next version of Xbox. Like, do you want to trade it in or do you want to finish paying that one? And I think, this could create a niche in the industry where people are just continually getting these upgraded consoles and they're fine with just always paying a monthly fee instead of paying, the bulk price all at once and then like owning all the shit,
Yeah. I like it. It's not bad.
Could you see that happening? Could you see, like, for instance, if somebody starts this Xbox All Access at the end of the life cycle of Xbox, and then they announce the next console, can you see Xbox offering that? Like, give us back your Xbox One, and we'll just carry over onto the next thing, and you'll lease the new console.
I'd be okay with that. All right. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Moving on. This is another one of your topics.
Is it?
Nintendo getting some different apps this fall. People have been asking, where are the apps, Nintendo?
Where are my apps, motherfucker? So I never thought of the Switch that was going to be more of like a handheld multimedia platform, but it makes sense that it would be. I'm sure they promised it. I never thought of it that way, but I started thinking about it when I saw an article. Don't remember where. Sorry, not trying to plagiarize. Philip Newson, still go fuck yourself.
Damn.
Damn. So, Inky Pen, which is actually a really funny name for an app, but Inky Pen, they've described it as like the Netflix of comic books.
Did you say Netflix?
I told you I bit my fucking tongue. I'm probably saying weird shit. So, it's for comic books. So, essentially, they'll have certain comic books from all different publishers that you can access and have a library of that you can read. Well, they're having an app coming out later this year to Switch. And I thought about it, and if you take the Joy-Cons off, you hold it like a tablet, vertically, it's actually the perfect size, I think, for just in one hand reading a comic.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you, Fred, that I have a Surface Pro tablet, but I don't, and I can read comments on that, get the apps, but I just don't because it's so big. It's actually bigger than what a comic book would be.
Don't
like one page.
Body shame the fucking tablet.
I'm sorry. But you know what I mean. It's I think the Switch is a great platform for reading things like that. Fuck, release a Kindle on the Switch. You could read books on it. I mean, I could do it on my phone, on any other Kindle device, but like the Switch is a good size for in your hand, I think.
I was just going to say, why stop there? Because let's put it like this. The Switch is becoming that thing that I play on the train now. So if I'm on the train and maybe I don't feel like playing a game, but I do have my Switch, like I could read. And like, yeah, I could bring a book with me too, but this could cover a lot of bases. I mean, yeah, for one, I mean, what they brought the Hulu on this past year, or was it Netflix?
On what?
On the Switch.
I didn't know this.
I forgot what they brought. They brought one of those video streaming services. I don't remember which one. But yeah, bring books to it. You already have the games on it. How could that go wrong? Just make it.
You can't. These last two topics have made me so happy because it's just like shit you can add to what we already have, and it's great.
Yeah.
keep it up, keep up the go. And it's always, and of course, it's Nintendo and Microsoft that are giving us good news. Then you have PlayStation giving us the worst news ever this week. Did you hear about it?